Hi. Hi, this is Christine Crow here, and I'm just coming on here from yesterday's. I did some videos and talking about the petition, how it's now at, I think it's 2 million, I think it's just under 2.5 million currently at the moment. But what I really want to really be focusing on is that there was the conference that was done by Rachel Reeves yesterday when she went to the CBI conference, and in that conference she talked about the there's a massive tax hike, let's face it, of 40 billion, which is a lot of money that has got to come from wherever, for example. But she made it seem like it was such a easy, simple thing, as if to say that there would be no consequences to this if people live within their budget, so she called it. Now, I'm quite concerned, and I am sure a lot of businesses in the UK are also concerned. They are very concerned. One organisation did speak about the national insurance hike, that they're going to have to not give their staff members a pay rise. It's going to cost them like 80,000, for example. But on top of that, that they may have to let jobs go. We have to be practical here. We've got to put measures in place to safeguard the company, for example, to keep the ones that we're able to keep on, rather than get rid of everybody and then everyone loses their job, for example. And I just find it quite amazing how Rachel Reeves was able to sit there in a calm, cool, collective way, which is, I suppose that's what politicians do. But I was concerned when I was listening to the effects that this is having on businesses. They literally are having to put in limitation modes. They're having to put in crisis management. They're implementing this now, and this is the reason why I talked about in my 30-day CEO challenge, because it was about the challenges that we are facing and also what is coming up next year, what we can do to combat, to save our businesses, for example. And it's not just the businesses, it's actually the public as well. Although they said that the national insurance isn't going to go up for the employees, for example, but the things that they're paying for, that's going up. So I don't understand what they're talking about. In a round and round the rosemary bush, or whatever they call it these days, the public, everything is going up for everybody. It's not just businesses, it's everybody. They make it seem like, oh, this is absolutely great because we're not going to tax the employee. You're not going to see it on your pay slip, but you're going to see it when you go out and you do your shopping, or you go for a meal possibly, or you go to the pub, whatever. You're going to see it there. You're going to see it on entertainment. You're going to see it in a lot of way, clothing. Retail shops, they're going to have to put their prices up. Food shopping, it's going to go up even more, and the price is even expensive as it is in the UK. I mean, my goodness, the price in the UK for going food shopping is absolutely ridiculous, and rental, that price is going up, the mortgage is going up. Come on, let's smell the coffee and see what we're really dealing with. We got to put some implementations in now, before this crisis is now. We're not even talking about April 2025. This crisis is now, and we've got to hit it now. We've got to hit the ground running with it now, planning for it now, because Like I did the 30-day challenge, and I was talking to you about this, about what you can do business recovery wise in order to save your business so that you can sleep at night. Otherwise, we're going to have the recession like we had in 2008 where it hit us and we didn't know what to do. I was involved in it. I have multiple businesses and I didn't know what to do because I never experienced it before. Now that I have experienced it before, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing as a coach, to help you to be prepared and be strong and for you to build your CEO muscles. A lot of people think that they can just sit back and expect a business to just miraculously appear, and then they can run it. No, you got to roll your sleeves up and you got to get in there and you got to do all the hard work. And sometimes it is dirty, it's not nice. You don't want to do it, but you got to do it if you want your business to survive. And you've got to now think about planning strategically how your business is going to survive next year. Start doing it now by putting in crisis management, by doing crisis plans like I talked about in my 30-day challenges business recovery training here on YouTube, and also in my Facebook group. I share the videos there. We got to get with the program. We cannot leave this because we don't know what else they're going to throw at you. You don't know what else they're going to throw at you because they said one thing and it's now changed. And, at the end of the day, this so-called black hole must have been available to them way before they came into power 4 months ago, for example. There's been a lot of changes and they must have known about these changes. You don't just suddenly jump into power and then suddenly sit around the table, right, what are we going to do? You're going to prepare for when you do go into power, because that's why you know what you're going to say to the public in order for them to vote for you. Now, let's put that to one side. They've dealt the blow. Let's look at what you can do as a business owner, or even as a manager, or even as an employee. What can you do right now? You can build a strategy plan, continuity plan, crisis plan. I'm not saying, not to eat, because you need to eat food. I'm not saying, look at this. Even the winter fuel bill has been taken away from the pensioners, and Michael Caine, the actor, has come in and even he feels it's not right as well. But let's look at what you can do as a business owner for crisis containment for your business. And this is basically where you are able to create a critical component of your business continuity plan by focusing on managing and mitigating the impact of the unexpected events that's just happened. This is unexpected for those of you that wasn't aware of what they were going to turn it around and say it as. For example, national insurance going up. The pay, national minimum wage per hour, for example, £12.21. Then you've got the increase of the national insurance. So you want to develop, business owners, you want to develop a comprehensive crisis management plan. Look, I've been in business for 35 years now, okay? I've been hit by the recession in 2008 and it affected me badly. I'm not going to go into things too much here because I don't want to put anyone, to make you think, oh my goodness. I want you to focus on you, okay? This is about you and what you can do right now to prevent you losing your business, because a lot of people are thinking of getting rid of their staff members. A lot of people are possibly thinking of closing. Do you know that 500 businesses a week go out of business in the UK alone? Can you imagine what's going to happen when April 2025 comes? It could even be double. So I'm having a chat with you here with my tea, and I'm going to talk about some of the strategies. Because when 2025 hits, if you don't plan now, you know, you've got 5 months to do this, and you can do this. Thank God you've got this time, and thank God that we can, because we've been through it, we can show you what you can do so that you don't go through this, okay? Now, like I said, you need to sit down. If you've got a manager, director, sit down and do a risk assessment of the potential risk that is specifically that's going to hit your industry and your organization right now, for example. Do a response protocol. You know, like in healthcare, for example, we have a safeguarding protocol. You know, what happens in the event that there's a safeguarding issue. Now, you need to safeguard your business. So you need to create a safeguarding protocol for your business, for example. You want to establish a clear procedure for addressing various crisis scenarios. So you're going to do, don't worry, I'm going to have trainings on this anyway. And you need to create like scenarios. Well, what happens when this happens? Well, this is what we need to do. But what if happens if it's not that and it's this? Then you need to do this. You're going to have like a tier, you know, escalation part to this as well. Okay? Then you've got to think about communication strategies. You can't just leave it up to just someone. You know, you've found that there's a situation here. What happens? What, no one's going to communicate to let everyone know that there's a danger? You know, like if you're on a ship, what happens and that you're going to hit something? There's someone on the radio, isn't there? I forgot what they're called. I don't even know what they're called because I don't ride ships or anything, for example. But there's someone on a radio there warning you, hey, there's an iceberg ahead, you're going to hit it, you need to do longitude, etc., go in a certain direction to prevent hitting that iceberg, for example. Okay, so you need to do things like that to prevent you hitting the iceberg, for example. Then you've got to do follow-ups, you know, weekly follow-ups. How is this going? Okay, we've created this strategy plan. You know, call it a scorecard if you want to, and create this so that you know what is red, orange, for example, and green. That this is going along tickety-boo. This orange, we need to be careful. We've got to be steady here. This could turn one way or another. The red, you deal with that. That's a problem, for example. Okay? So engage in your crisis management containment. Okay? So I provide crisis management containment services, as well as we do limitation, as well as we do crisis plans, continuity plans as well. Because I felt that my clients needed it that were at 6 and 7 figures, because they face these things all the time, even before this budget hit. Okay, so this is the reason why I've been talking so much on YouTube, because I want to get the word out as much as possible to as many people as possible. And seeing what is being talked about by Rachel Reeves, seeing what is being talked about by Keir Starmer, seeing the petition, seeing the people's views of what's happening, the dissatisfaction, it's made me come forward to say, look, we all need to be involved in this to really create a really strong business structure for our businesses to save jobs. That means people keep their jobs. So as business owners, we've got to try and see what we can do to try and keep as many jobs as possible, because the big companies, they already started, you know, you could see it happening months ago that people were losing their jobs months ago. You know that, right? There's seasonal work, and we understand that, and people will lose jobs at certain times of the year. But they also was aware that there's going to be some issues going on here, so we need to limit, you know, get rid of certain jobs. For example, you're seeing it in the news all the time. You know, people have lost jobs, Amazon, supermarkets, etc., for example. Okay, so let's look at what you can do as a business owner to keep your business going, to keep your business thriving, so you can sleep at night. Because I know what it's like as a business owner, and you're seeing these crises, especially the recession in 2008. You couldn't sleep at night because it was really, really stressful, and there was no real companies there to help you. Yes, there were companies coming in and saying, yeah, do this, do that, do this, but there was no real coaching. It was very sort of like bang, bang, bang. It was like that. And I want to be able to offer coaching. I want to be able to offer training, boot camps, so that you can learn gradually without being, you feel like you're being poleaxed. You know, when you go and see a company to talk about your company's situation, you go in there, you give everything, you take in boxes of what you've got, and you know, you're being questioned for like 3 hours, for example, which is understandable. You need to do that, but you come out of there and you're totally drained, you're exhausted, and you still don't feel, you know, like you're being relieved in any way. You've still got that pressure, you still got that on your shoulders because you're the directors. And I want to prevent you feeling that way, because I know what that feels like. Okay, so implement some business continuity standards, for example, guidelines, designing and developing your organization's crisis management systems. You need to be able to create those systems, and we need to look at that, because we don't seem to do that in business. We're just like, yeah, I want to set this business up, and yeah, everything's going great, and I'm ticking along, I'm happy with things are going, but something's going down, but you're not quite sure what's happening there, and then you jump in, you're firefighting. Let's really get into this in a deeper way so that you're in control. You want to conduct regular trainings and do some role playing with your staff members so that they also understand the program. Because let me tell you something, you need to run your business as if you are a Navy SEAL Team 6. And I keep going on about this, but I think it is a great way to run a business in that way, because it's not just about you, but it's also about your team members. So everybody in your team needs to be able to run it in that way. Otherwise, there's going to be team members that is going to let you down and is not going to have your back. So then there's a hole that is vulnerable that could create the enemy to come in and destroy your business. And you don't want that, okay? So you want to make sure that your team members, your staff members are all on board with what you're trying to do, and they understand that it's for the good of the company and for good of the staff members as well. You're not here to play around, and your staff members aren't here just to, this isn't just about them getting a wage. This is about them working together as a team, collaborating and working with you, the business owner, so that this business grows stronger, not weaker. And then you want to do a monitor and review. And you would need to do a review of the crisis management plan that you've put into place, and have an effective date so that you know when each time you've done that and what improvements have been made, so that when you have that meeting, you will sit, you will discuss, hey, you know, last week we had this problem. How is that going? Okay, oh, excellent. So you've managed to overcome that obstacle. Wonderful, excellent. So, Timmy, for example, how did you get on with your um, goal that you had to achieve for that week? Excellent, wonderful. And then maybe you may have one. I'm going to say Sally. I'm not picking on someone called Sally. I'm just going to say Sally. Sally, how did that go? And Sally's like, well, it didn't really work well because, I didn't really, I just didn't believe in what was going to happen. So we didn't really do much with that because I just felt that that wasn't going to work. Well, you need to talk to Sally. Okay? So I just wanted to go through with you just one simple thing that you can start implementing, and implement this like now. Today is Tuesday, for example. You want to have a meeting on Friday and say that this is what you're going to be implementing into the company in preparation for when April 2025 hits you. It's 5 months away, but start planning it now. Don't wait for that to hit you, because you don't know how bad it's going to be come April. Could be a lot worse. These big companies, they're running around now getting advice, getting insurance, if they haven't got insurance, for example, to cover them for crisis management, for example, for limitation modality, because they want to limit the risk. They've got to start on that now. They've got to look at what their finances are, what can they afford, what's it going to be like in 5 months. Okay, how much money do we predict that we're going to have? Well, the way things are going, we need to look at, are we going to need to let go of a few staff members in order for the greater good of the company? Even though that might sound harsh, but you've got to look at that in this way. And I really want you to think about this, because with what Rachel Reeves had talked about in her speech that she did at the CBI conference, it really, to me, was not really helping the business owners. It's like a tax rate, basically. I even think that the HM Revenue and Customs, I can't speak for them, for example, but they also know that this is going to be an impact on the whole of society as well, not just the employers. So there's lots of things that you can start implementing now. This is why I started talking about this like 30 days ago, before the budget even came into place, because we need to plan for when the crisis hits. But if we plan it right, then we will be safe. You will be safe. If you don't plan it right, then you're going to be waiting for it to hit you. It's like a wave. Yeah, you're in the sea, you're swimming, and the wave hits you and it goes over your head, and then it pulls you out to sea. The tide takes you out, for example, rather than you standing still and the wave comes but you're still standing, but you move back. You're safe. Business owners, you saw the petition, and I know the petition was done by a pub landlord, and that's got nothing to do with anything, but the CBI did its annual conference, and Rachel Reeves was talking in the conference about what is happening, for example, and we don't know what else is going to be thrown at us. So look, you can see that the petition is at this, slowed down quite a lot from how it was for example. So it's now at 2.5 million, for example, but it has slowed down, but it's still going up even as I'm talking here. So it will be 3 million today, for example. But what I want you to do, directors, CEOs, is plan. Start putting strategies in place now. Start doing a recovery plan. Listen to my videos here. I've got my business recovery playlist. I've also got my CEO playlist, elite performers. We need to start thinking in that way. If we want to take our business seriously, we need to see it in that way. So I do hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Do like and subscribe. Join the, hit the notification button here. Click the link if you want to book a free 15-minute appointment with me so I can discuss the crisis plan for your organization, and I can also go through with you about our bootcamp recovery that is happening next month. For example, it's important that you look at your crisis containment for your business, because if you don't do it, no one else is going to, and then you're going to end up, struggling. I'm going to do a video later on today because I want to try and do 2 to 3 videos a day, because I think it's so important. Because with what happened in the recession back in 2008, it was not nice at all. This way, there's something that you can do ahead of you can really proof it as much as you possibly can before that storm hits you. I'm not here to frighten you or put you off or anything, but like I said, 500 businesses in the UK go out of business every single week, and I'm sure it's going to be more because the planning wasn't done correctly. So I want you to plan for when the recession does hit. I'm going to be doing a live tonight as well. I'll talk about the petition as well, but the live tonight will be where I'll be talking about some of the CEO strategies and also the business recovery that you can start implementing, because you've got to start doing your crisis planning now, not when it hits you. You know it's here. You know it's coming. So as directors, you need to plan for that now so that you are in a strong position financially in your business for 2025. And like I said, do your crisis containment for your business. It is crucial. So join me for the next video. I will be going live tonight, as well as I'm going to be putting in another video here as well. I hope this was helpful to you, directors, managers, for example, and I look forward to speaking with you in the next video, and I will see you on the internet. And I hope that you'll be able to join us when we do our boot camps next month as well, because it will be beneficial for you. But I'll go into that as each day goes on. All right, so thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.